Day after day, you've worked hard to improve your mind, body, and heart. Being the best is now your lifestyle, not just a goal. But you're starting to notice something strange. The women you meet seem distant. Could the fact that you're so valuable be making her want to leave because you scare or overwhelm her? As Marcus Aurelius put it, the mind takes on the color of its thoughts. Your high opinion of herself may be making her doubt her own worth. In this video, we'll explore 8 signs that indicate your value to her. You will not only understand this truth by the end, but also what you can do about it, but you can also learn how to use it as a strength. Are you ready to face the truth? Let's begin. Here are 8 signs that you're too valuable for her. When she whispers that she's not talented enough, you praise her. Instead of a smile or a thank you, she shifts awkwardly and either jokes off or flatly denies it. Even though it's modest, her behavior says a lot about how she feels inside. That's not shame you're seeing. Rather, it's the whisper of unworthiness. It's challenging for her to accept your praise because she knows she doesn't deserve it. As you keep praising her, thinking you're being helpful, her feelings of not being positive enough only get worse. Each kind word prompts her to reflect on her perceived distance from where you are. It's not a small problem that the more you try to cheer her up, the more she pulls away. It can ruin the whole nature of your relationship, and she might not want to say what she thinks or feels. If she believes your friends won't be as intelligent as you, she might avoid spending time with them. Marcus Aurelius once said, "She is sure she doesn't have enough value to bring to the table." The happiness in your life rests on the thoughts you have. The issue lies in the fact that if her thoughts stem from feelings of inadequacy, she will continue to undermine herself. Any chance of a healthy connection will be hindered by her self-doubt, which will force her to distance herself from the other person. She's afraid you'll leave once you see her as she really is. But what can you do as a valuable man? Rather than simply showering her with praise or attempting to boost her confidence, take her along on your own growth journey and invite her to the things that excite you. Whether it was a strong book, a seminar, or a theory that changed the way you think, show her that you value her as a partner on this road of growth, and that you know it will happen over time, not just someone who watches your success. Today, Stoicism teaches us the path to Stoic happiness. We don't walk alone, but with friends who push us to do better. If she sees herself growing with you, she can eventually silence that voice of doubt. However, if she continues to pull away, it could indicate that you two are heading in separate directions. That's okay. Just keep in mind that you can't make someone grow. It has to come from within. In today's world, many people, particularly women, struggle with feelings of not being good enough. Social media sets unrealistic expectations and makes people compare all the time. Leave a lot of people feeling bad, even though it's kind to help those we care about. Stoicism helps us remember that we can't change what other people do or think. Our attention should be on our own progress and the energy we bring into our lives. A man of high worth knows when to back off and let other people grow. If you've told her about your journey and asked her to join you, but she still doesn't want to, then they are not alone. This indicates that the connection may not be assisting you in achieving Stoic happiness. 2. The Tower Shadow. A quiet drama is unfolding in relationships. However, there is a powerful sensation you experience when a woman places you on a pedestal. At first, it might look nice. She tells everyone how wonderful you are and what wonderful things you've done. It's clear that you're special. However, there is a deeper issue underlying this seemingly superficial respect. Here, there is no genuine respect or relationship. Instead, fear masquerades as admiration. She raised you to such a high level that there is now an unspoken gap between you two. It's not just about boosting your ego when someone puts you on a high. It involves setting an impossible standard of perfection that no one can ever achieve. When you're in public, she might be happy to show off all your accomplishments. She treats them as if they were hers to share. It's her way of enjoying the way you look in the mirror. Being with you makes me feel special, but this pride is a mistake. The more she boasts about you, the more she distances herself from you. The pedestal makes a long shadow, and she feels unsafe when she's alone. Let her worries and fears take over in the privacy of your relationship. You may notice that she is becoming less close, critical, or even cold. This isn't because she doesn't care. Because she thinks she's not good enough. She might start to focus on small flaws, or act in ways that don't make sense. This behavior is her way of bringing you down to a level where she feels safe enough to connect with you again. This back and forth is exhausting for both of you, not just her. One moment you're her hero, and the next you're creating emotional distance between you. You're both exhausted from this back and forth game in which neither of you wins. Vulnerability is your best tool to break this loop. You need to show her that you're a person, even though you're famous. Be honest about your struggles, doubts, and mistakes, but don't minimize your successes. However, to fully present yourself to her, ensure she understands that you are not a distant figure. Indeed, you have been through challenging times, just like everyone else. That's part of what makes you truly valuable. You worked through tough times instead of giving up. Understanding that life will present challenges is crucial, and this is the essence of Stoic life lessons. What matters is what you do when she sees the true you. It's not just the shiny outside that can help close that emotional gap. It's also the inner strength and resiliency. She'll start to understand that getting close to someone doesn't mean worshipping them from afar. But here's the thing. When you let someone into your life, you walk through life with them. Demonstrate to them that even the most exceptional individuals possess vulnerabilities. You won't lose value. Instead, you'll gain respect. She will cease to regard you as an entity that she is unable to interact with and will begin to regard you as an individual with whom she can converse. You should consider whether you're prepared to lower your defenses and allow her in. Are you ready to share your good and bad experiences to build something? Real connections based on admiration will ultimately come to an end under the weight of unrealistic demands. But when they meet as equals, when people understand that life has ups and downs, that's when real relationships happen. These things happen a lot in jobs and public personas these days. Think about how people treat celebrities or people who have done very well in life. Their exteriors are perfect, but they share internal issues and doubts. Like everyone else, what sets them apart is their approach to problem solving. Whether they let the platform define them or show their human side and connect with real people, the same applies to relationships where you allow the platform to create distance between you. Even when someone is right next to you, it will make you feel more alone. But if you practice Stoicism and understand that being open is not a sign of weakness, but with strength, you'll be able to build a relationship based on real things. I'm not making this up. So here's the question. Are you ready to come down from the pedestal? Allow her to witness your true self. If you do that, you'll not only make your relationship stronger, we also follow the quiet lessons that teach us to accept all of who we are. Stoicism isn't about being perfect. It's about being strong. Remember what Stoicism means. Being honest and ready to deal with anything that comes your way. If you're not on a never-ending path of self-discovery and growth, it's time to apply what you've learned in your own life. How about you? Are you ready to use it in your relationships? Say, I'm ready if you are. 3. The quiet of desire when you're a man of high value and a tough personality. Your fame can throw a long shadow over the people you care about. When her drive stops, it's a clear indication that she finds you too valuable. Remember the late-night talks where she would talk about her big dreams and how she wanted to change the world. Those conversations that were so passionate and exciting now seem like a long time ago. When you discuss your future plans or what you both want out of life, this shift isn't just about being lazy. She changes the subject, or a short-term loss of direction. It's more serious. It means that your success isn't motivating her, has made her feel like she's not doing enough, and that her goals don't matter. Compared to what you've done, she may start pulling back instead of moving forward. When she feels overwhelmed by the comparison, she begins to express her desire silently. She might make jokes about her job that make fun of her goals in a subtle way. It may seem insignificant, or perhaps it comes up when you discuss your life plans. She uses phrases such as, "we'll see," and "I'm still figuring it out" in her answers, which can lead to ambiguity. These words, which may seem harmless, show that she is pulling away from the drive to succeed. She is making her world smaller so she doesn't feel weak next to your growing one. This isn't just a time of doubt, it's a complete withdrawal from goals. You see, this happens a lot to very important men like you who keep a calm mind. Your achievements are perceived as a threat rather than an inspiration. But here's the key. Instead of talking about your own accomplishments, try talking about what she's passionate about. Ask her about the goals she used to talk about and show that you are interested in what makes her happy. As the Stoic sage Epictetus once said, no matter how small it may seem compared to what you're doing, what happens to you doesn't matter as much as how you handle it. How are you going to handle this right now? Can you get her to feel the fire again by really listening to her? By caring about her goals, you can show her that her path is just as important as yours, even if it's not the same. But if the silence lasts for a long time, it could mean that you're moving on from the connection. You should question whether she's simply unable to keep up. What kind of relationship do you want? A place where both people can grow. Being a high-value man means being aware of when one partner starts to hold the other back. When a relationship isn't good for either person anymore if she's shrinking when you do well, things will only get worse. And keep in mind the Stoic's goal. Not only should you live for yourself, but also help others grow. So, let me leave you with this question. How can you help the people in your life succeed as well? Do you know of any ways to help them feel like they don't live in your shadow? Please fill in the provided space with your comment. For the weight of your world, being a high-value man has its benefits. However, sometimes your presence can influence others without you even realizing it. You put stress on the people around you, especially in relationships. This can show up in small but strong ways. This occurs when your partner feels incapable of making even the most basic decisions in today's world, where the stakes are often high. It's important to find a balance between sticking to your ideals and making room for a real connection. Marcus Aurelius said that the things that make you happy in life are, how positive are your thoughts? Let's discuss how to recognize when your high-value appearance is in danger. What factors could be contributing to the weight of the relationship, and how can you reduce it without compromising your values? If you've ever seen your partner hesitant or having trouble making what seems like an effortless choice, when you choose a place or plan a fun day out, it could be a sign. She feels the weight of your world pressing down on her. This isn't just a case of not knowing what to do, it's a response to the stress of being with someone she thinks is amazing. As a high-value man, You probably have high standards, and your way of life may show that you're successful. She might find discipline and a sense of purpose intimidating. She might be afraid that making even small decisions feels like a huge job. If she makes one mistake, she's unfit for you. Stoic happiness, like Stoicism today, tells us to enjoy the simple things in life. We should pay attention to the things we can change, such as how we respond to situations. But when someone thinks they must match your greatness in every way, that can cause her extra stress and worry, like she might freeze. Where to eat or spend the weekend, she'll tell you. Date planning, which should be enjoyable and exciting, turns into a stressful process. She works to ensure that your events, even the most ordinary ones, live up to your hopes. She thinks about whether she looks attractive in the clothes she chooses for a casual event, which can cause her stress of being with someone your size. And here's the thing, it's not because she lacks confidence or not being good enough. It's about the stress of having to live up to a view of yourself that it's important to know how to reach her because she seems so far away. Your high-value way of thinking may be affecting the people around you in ways you don't intend. One way to lighten this load is to show her. Being happy isn't about being perfect, but about enjoying the little things in life with your partner. Today, we can learn from Stoicism that happiness lies in the little things. Every day, avoid trying to meet impossible goals. We planned low-key events that prioritized connection over impressing. Enjoy a peaceful walk in the park, make a simple meal together, or watch a movie at home. You and she will feel less pressure to always impress you during these times spent together. When you make choices with her, show her that it's not about being perfect by valuing her opinion, but it's about shared experiences. This will help her feel more at ease and sure of herself in her job. Together with your partner, you can discuss your flaws. They bring joy when you least expect it. Maybe there was a time when a plan didn't work out. However, in the end, being honest about your mistakes proved to be beneficial. You prove yourself and show her life and relationships are real. Control of her mind instead of looking up to her success. She starts to see it as a reminder of the problems she thinks she has, whether they are real or imagined. It gets tricky when she tries to catch up and achieve your goals. They frequently lead her down a path of danger. Imagine her hopping from one hobby to another. She is desperately searching for something she can do well at work that will make her proud. She is constantly stressed out because she believes she needs to achieve the same level of success as you. However, to achieve that, she must sacrifice her health and appearance. It becomes a battleground. She might think about extreme diets or even plastic surgery. All this is done to feel good about you. But here's the painful irony. As she tries to be perfect, she's losing the very things that made you like her in the first place. It's not your success that makes her want to be away from you. For her, the idea that she has to beat you to earn your love is real. So how do you handle this as a respected man? First, think about what Marcus Aurelius said. To live a happy life, all you need to do is alter your perspective. Is she stuck in this cycle? Instead of fixing it, show her how to break it. Your calm attitude and ability to concentrate on things you can manage will lead her in the right direction. However, you should ask yourself, and maybe even her, why being with someone who thrives. This situation causes her to feel weak instead of strong. Could it be that her sense of self-worth was already weak? Now she wants you to fill that void, as one of the legendary masters once said. Being wealthy doesn't mean having lots of things. It means not wanting many things. Men of great value like you not only attract women's attention, but also actively engage them. Sometimes they express deep-seated fears, but is it your responsibility to manage them? This prompts you to consider, are you prepared to handle the psychological consequences of another person's actions? Who sees your success as a threat instead of a journey you're both on? Not being competent enough is something she has to deal with on her own, no matter how much you want to help. There's no need for you to drop your standards or turn down the light to make her feel better. On the contrary, it's about being true to yourself while letting her find her own way. As you continue to grow and learn, you should always love and accept yourself. Know that real strength isn't about being stronger than other people. Seneca once said that a mind preoccupied with future events is a mind in low spirits. She's unhappy if she's worried about not being as good as you. Some women may not want competition, but rather kindness. And as a high-value guy, you should be aware of that. Your goal isn't to fix other people, it's to master yourself, which means knowing when to help others. It's important to know when to leave a hard relationship. Just like success, self-doubt can cause disruption if you allow it to escalate. When she feels inadequate, the relationship becomes tense. So ask yourself, can she grow with you? Or has your growth become too much for her to handle because she values men a lot? A calm person knows that not all women will be ready to go down this path with them. That's okay. Keep getting better and winning, because in the end you will always find someone who values the real you if you stay strong. Do you agree with the above point of view? If so, please leave a message. Yes, I agree with everything you said. I'd love it if you left a review. I have a question for you. Are you with someone who is? She bears a striking resemblance to you. She adopts your hobbies and shares your opinions. She adapts her style to suit your preferences. At first glance, this might look like a sign of similarity, but the truth could be a little more unsettling. In a partnership, giving up who you really are is not a sign of love or respect. It's a way of wiping out the past. In this case, we can connect it to a quote from Epictetus: "First figure out who you are, then dress like that." She is the type of woman who surrenders her individuality to conform to your desires. She is losing sight of how valuable she is, and this hurts the bond. I like to call this sacrifice of self, which implies that she believes you are too valuable for her. She gives up being herself in order to meet that ideal. She doesn't force you to give up your entire self at once in order to keep you intrigued. It happens slowly and shows up in small but important ways. She might start by acting like she's interested in your hobbies, even if she has never shown any interest in them before. Perhaps she suddenly develops a strong interest in activities you both enjoy, such as a sport or a band. The most dangerous part is that she doesn't do these things because she likes them, but rather because she believes they will keep you happy. Her views on everything from politics to pop culture may slowly come to agree with yours. They fear that arguing will make them want to be with someone else, even though it's normal for partners to grow together. This isn't mutual improvement. She's giving up her own identity. She wants to stay with you because she believes that conformity is the key to her place in your life. In this situation, modern Stoicism and the concept of Stoic happiness become crucial. Stoics believe that happiness comes from being content inside, not from approval from others. Being a high-value man means living in line with who you really are. Be aware of this behavior and avoid making it a relationship habit. It's not just important to encourage her to be herself. It's necessary. Don't let her change for you. Instead, show her that you value what makes her special. Praise the things about her that make her unique, or the things that drew you to her in the first place. First, let her enjoy her own interests, even if they're not the same ones you do. Show interest in them by engaging in deep conversations. Show how her ideas are different from yours and stress that having different ideas is a beneficial thing, not a threat. The core of a positive relationship is two people who make each other better. It is not a place where one person gives up who they are to become like someone else. With social media and societal demands today, this is more important than ever. People today face constant pressure to conform to the ideal of Stoicism, which tells us to stay true to ourselves no matter what other people say or do. Giving up your needs isn't love, it is a sign of trouble. She believes she needs to adapt in order to stay competitive. This makes her feel self-conscious and insecure, but it also weakens your relationship over time as a high-value man. You need to be her rock and help her find her true self again. By creating a space where individuality can grow, you not only strengthen the bond between people, but also build a relationship based on respect for each other and real growth. So take a moment to think about your friendship. Are you letting this sacrifice of yourself happen by accident? If so, it's time to change the situation. By being honest with herself, accepting who she really is, and making a promise to grow, you can both do well on your own and together. Remember that real, silent happiness comes from inside. If you follow these rules, it's up to both people in the relationship to make sure they never lose sight of who they really are. Not only will you maintain your high rank, but you'll also forge an unbreakable relationship. Stoicism fosters a happiness that is grounded in the truth. The unsaid competition, unspoken competition exists in many partnerships. This is particularly true when one partner's success unintentionally casts a shadow over the other. Imagine that you're accomplishing great things, which enhances their sense of worth. When you reach a new level, your partner joins you in celebration. However, if you look closely, there's a hint of something else in her eyes. Not anger, but more like relief. It's as though your accomplishments somehow earn her the right to be with you. She's proud of you, no question. However, a part of her feels diminished due to your actions. This isn't how a positive relationship works. There's a battle going on behind closed doors, and she feels like she's losing it. Your success, which should bring happiness to both of you, instead serves as a mirror, highlighting her perceived inadequacy. It's not that she doesn't want you to succeed, but rather that your achievements highlight her personal issues. Fears can be difficult to manage. You've likely observed subtle shifts in her behavior. When you tell her about your latest success, she might take a little longer to say congratulations, or they might feel a little pushed right after she talks about her recent wins. At times, seemingly insignificant details seem to convey a message to both you and her that she has worth too. This isn't pride or self-centeredness. She's trying diligently to show him how valuable she is in the relationship, and this quiet competition is making her feel stressed. Can spread to other parts of your life, causing stress where there should be happiness. You both end up on different sides, so you don't feel like a team. That's where the danger lies, comparing each other's wins. True, a man of value doesn't have to compete with her stiffness. Life lessons teach us that judging ourselves by others should never determine how much we value ourselves. What should you do first to recognize the situation without making things worse? Have a party with her when you win, but let her know that her worth doesn't rest on how much she does. Every little win she has is bigger than yours. No matter how small it may seem in the big picture, it is something to be proud of. A real relationship needs help from both sides because it's about growth, not competition. More importantly, you should demonstrate to her that you can achieve both of your goals simultaneously. If you accomplish this without causing offense to the other individual, you will demonstrate to her that your success is not a threat. but something makes the relationship stronger. Let's take a moment to think about this. When did you feel like someone close to you was taking over? It could have been a friend, child, co-worker, etc. Did it make you angry, even though you didn't mean to? How did you deal with that? We've all been in situations where someone else's success made us feel uneasy about our own. It's easy to get caught up in quiet competition, but here's a better question. Why do we harm ourselves if we truly desire to maintain stoicism? When we realize outside events don't define us, we don't need to measure. If we judge ourselves by someone else's standards, then what is stoicism if not the art of staying strong inside? In the end, the message is simple. Find peace in your own path. Life and relationships aren't races. You're not there to beat each other. But if you want to grow alongside someone who is afraid of your success, you should take the initiative. Tell her that her trip is just as important, even if it goes in a different direction. A man of high worth understands this and outperforms those who remain silent. Instead of focusing on making a relationship work for both people, when you do something outstanding next time, tell her about it and try to make her feel positive along the way. You're not only strengthening your relationship, you're also learning how to live a quiet life and following the rules of a strong, stable relationship. How can you use these rules in your relationship? Today, what will you change to help both of you grow? Please consider what we should do without fighting. Now that the video about the 8 signs you're too valuable for her has been completed, your first step to personal growth and happiness is realizing your worth. Every day, follow these stoic life lessons, and you'll start to notice a difference in how you deal with people. In general, which signs did you identify with the most? Leave your thoughts below. We'd love to hear them. Also, remember that you can always learn more. Watch the suggested video on your screen to learn more useful things. That's all for now. Remember to be strong and true to yourself. This is a Stoic Diary.